All right. Thanks so much for joining me today for Kineo office hours. Going to do our quick little overview of what office hours are and who I am, and then we'll move forward and talk about audiences today. Again, my name is Taylor Craig, and I am the Learning Platform Specialist here at Kineo. I do all things training of Totara. So that is my role here at Kineo. Let's do a little quick overview of what Kineo office hours are. They're available only to our clients. We make the 15-minute feature presentation available online to everyone, but the 45 minutes of open floor discussion and question, that is only open to our clients. So if you have any burning questions or just want to talk something out or discuss something with us, please join us for Kineo office hours, and we'll be glad to do that with you. So today we are going to be talking about audiences. In our first session, thanks to Steve, we actually had a really good conversation about audiences in that particular session, but we're going to talk a little bit more about them today and kind of think through them a little bit more, and then also just kind of apply them to any other situation that you may possibly have, and kind of maybe talk about some stuff that you may not be aware that audiences can do. So what exactly are they? Audiences are going to be groups of individuals on your site. You may group them based on their position on the site. You may group them based on their organization on the site. You may group by location. You may group based on a couple of different things. And might want to talk about the different types of audiences that are available. So there's two different types. You have set audiences as well as dynamic audiences. Set audiences are going to be manually controlled, something that you're going to have to go in there and you're going to say, this person belongs in this audience, that person belongs in this audience, and you're manually controlling, adding them and removing them from those audiences. So that is what a set audience is going to be. Today we're going to focus more so on dynamic audiences because they're really cool, and they do a lot of stuff for you automatically. So dynamic audiences, you set up a variety of different rules. So you may say that an individual has a particular position and they also reside in a certain location. And so what that's going to do, Totara is going to go out and it's going to find all of those people who apply and it's going to drop them into that course or into that audience. With audiences, you can then enroll people into learning. You can enroll learning to that audience. There's a little bit of a difference back and forth there, which way you're going to do that. And then also a little known use for audiences is enrolling people into an additional program. So say I complete a program. That then gives me additional criteria that may place me into a different audience that is going down a completely different track, right? So it may be, you may do that to kind of gauge and push people through learning. So I may be a member of one audience for a little while until I complete a program. When I complete that program, it's then going to place me into a different audience where I can then access additional learning. So really cool things that you can do with audiences, and since they will do that dynamic push and pull relationship where they add and remove people automatically based on their particular criteria, you can most definitely do things like that with audiences, and it's really slick. So I'm going to quiz you guys a little bit. So again, what audiences are, where they're set up. So audiences are going to be set up underneath site administration, users, accounts, and audiences. And again, as I was just discussing, you would use it for enrollment, advanced enrollment, which is what I was talking about, going from one program into another program. That would be your advanced enrollment. And then also for reporting purposes. You can pull back reports based on an audience. So if you want to see what's going on with a particular audience, you can absolutely do that and utilize audiences for reporting purposes. So I'm going to quiz you guys a little bit. So hopefully you've been paying attention a little bit, and hopefully you have kind of a little bit of an understanding of audiences. And I'm going to be looking for inside of the questions box for your answers. So here is our first option. If the following rule sets are in place, and this is talking about dynamic audiences, who would be placed into the dynamic audience? So here are our users. We've got users 1 through 8. Our rule set, we only have one rule set. The position is equal to frontline associate and 0203 Luetta, who on this list would be placed into that dynamic audience. So they have to meet those two criteria. So we have an and statement here, not an or statement. Okay, so Tim is saying number 1 and number 2, and then Steve is saying everyone. And JP is saying users 1 and 2. All right, let's see who's right. Boom, correct. It is users 1 and 2. So the reason it is that way is because of this and statement. So they have to be a frontline associate and work at the Luetta store. So it's going to automatically pull just these individuals. All right, let's try again. We've got the same set of users, different rules. Rule set number 1, the position is equal to frontline associate and the Luetta store, or we have an additional rule set, or their city is equal to College Station. Yes, that and statement, Steve, it'll get you. Okay, JP saying 1, 2, 5, and 6. Same for Tim. All right, everybody's in agreement. You win. Cool. All right, let's try one more time. Let's see here. So we've got position is equal to frontline associates and Luetta, and the city is equal to College Station. We've got two rule sets here and the same users. Who is going to be in this audience? Okay. Steve, we've got our answers locked in from JP and Tim. JP, Tim, is that your final answer? Okay, so we have none, and then also we have I'm thinking only 5 and 6. So let's run this, let's push to see the answer. It's no one. Okay, so the reason it is nobody is because we have an and statement here. Okay, so we've got an and statement between our two rule sets. So we've got equal to frontline associate and Luetta and equal to College Station. So they have to meet all of these criteria, and nobody on the site would meet that criteria. Okay? All right, we've got one more coming up here. We've got one rule set, position is equal to frontline associates or Luetta store. Who is going to be placed into that audience? Okay, we've got one answer locked in. And we've got all three answers locked in. And you all win. It is everyone. Okay, so that is how dynamically different you can use, you can create audiences using Totara dynamic audiences. So in particular, a lot of times people do get a little bit confused as far as having multiple rule sets and why you would have multiple rule sets. Steve actually brought to us an excellent example of why you would have multiple rule sets in our first session. That was during the Q&A part, so not everyone is able to see that, but we saw that I used his example actually in this particular presentation because he had individuals that had a particular position and they were located in a particular city. But then he also had people who were all located in a particular city, and all those people needed to be in the same audience. And so we worked through that, and we were able to figure out how to set up that audience so that he could actually utilize that audience effectively. And Steve, I hope that's been working for you. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and open the floor for questions.